my name is Alice. Welcome to the first episode of the Positive Vibes Only show, designed to make you happier, stronger every day. I'm a life coach, YouTube creator, theater actress, teacher, and I hope I'm going to be your friend as well. I am here to guide you master the art of living happily and in harmony with your feelings, friends, and yourself, and even your surroundings. Life is hard to control, I know, but you can control your life with learning to be positive and to stay in a positive mood. You can live the life that you have always imagined. Let's make it happen together with love, compassion, and goodwill. So, in today's episode, we're going to talk about fear and how can you overcome it. But before moving to talk about this theme, I would like to tell you my story, my own experience with being fearful. I remember when I was at university, my first year at university, it was super hard to just adapt to that new life and make people love me. So I was always fearful to be rejected. I thought that maybe others won't like me for who I was. And I had some little complexes that I didn't show to the world and that I kept to myself. So this made me lose confidence in myself, lose self-esteem, and lose so many things that I didn't even recognize at that time. But growing up and spending those years at university, I learned that fear can be a hindrance. Fear can stop you from achieving the things that you want. So if ever you want to achieve something, you need to know this thing, okay? Fear is not what will make you lose. It's just a simple psychology, let's say a simple psychological state which is pushing you backwards and not forward. It's always keeping you down and pushing you to stay where you are and not move on. We always fear from the unknown. Yeah, I understand, because this is what I fear too. I thought that maybe if I started talking to my classmates, telling them what I wanted, telling them who I was, they wouldn't accept me, they wouldn't love me. And then what happened was completely the contrary, because when I started getting to know them one by one, well, it didn't happen in my first year at university, but it happened later on, let's say third year. I got to understand that those ideas that I had settled in myself, that inner voice that was speaking to me and telling me to not do this and to just keep things for myself, was, let's say, stopping me from knowing the external world, okay? So what is fear and how can you overcome it, guys? Let us talk about this. So fear, simply for me, is a hindrance, a psychological hindrance that is pushing you to go backwards. What does it mean? It means those ideas, those little ideas that you may have inside you are your fears, okay? We fear to start a project that we dream of because we fear a failure, right? Because we fear to fail, even if we didn't even start. Isn't it right? Did it happen to you once that you wanted to start a big project, to open a restaurant, for example, and then you just started to think about the consequences? What about if I lose my money? What about if nobody is going to come to eat in my restaurant? What about if my recipes are not going to be the best? What if I have some people who won't like what I'm going to do? You see, all these ideas come from your fears, and they don't come from you. So you just have to control them. How can you control them? This is easy. So whenever that little voice starts talking to you and saying, you know what, babe, you cannot reach this, you cannot do this, and you can never achieve the things that you want because your fear is stopping you. That inner voice is simply a reflection of what you fear. You have to stop it. You have to shut it down. You know what? You take a deep breath. Okay, you take a deep breath. Exhale, inhale, exhale, and then you just talk to yourself as if you're talking to a friend. What you're going to say is, you know what? No, stop talking to me like that. I'm worth being successful. I'm worth achieving the things that I dream of achieving. I can reach everything I want, okay? You need to shut down that little voice. You can switch the light on and you can switch the light off, right? So just imagine that little voice which is talking to you, those fears that are making you give up the things that really count to you. Imagine as if those fears are a switcher, okay? You can switch them on, switch them off. It's a light, okay? If you switch them off, you're going to be simply enlightened, find everything that you want. But if you switch them on, then it's going to be complicated. Okay, so the thing that you need to know is you cannot overcome these fears in a day, okay? You can work on it. It's a discipline. It's a work, as a muscle. When you train yourself to have a stronger body, just do it like that. Imagine that your fears are a muscle, okay? Are a muscle, and then you train them to become little, okay? Every single day they become little, until they completely disappear, right? Well, I find that this is a great way to omit your fears. There is another tool that you can do, which is simply take a paper and a pen, write down all your fears, okay? And then think, why do I fear this? Okay, you ask yourself, why is this fear in me? And how can I do to transform it into a positive point, into a strength, okay? So whenever you try to transform those fears into strengths, it's going to be great because you're overcoming them. Isn't it great? Just when you see that your fears are disappearing, your fears are going away and leaving you behind, okay? So do this thing and just transform them into a positive point, as I said before. And try to practice doing this every single time you have those fears popping up, because they are going to pop up. They are going to come back. You cannot just make them disappear in a day or in a while, okay? Yeah, this is something complicated. I know that you may I know, I'm not kidding, okay? It's the truth. Fears are only, let's say, imaginations. They do not exist really. Fears are what keep us from not achieving our dreams and not achieving them, okay? But there are some people who take advantage of them and they transform them into a positive point, okay? The positive show, okay? Positive show or positive vibes only is all about teaching you how you can transform your life into light, how you can live with passion, with love, with positive energies, okay? It's all about that. So you just have to learn to control your emotions, to control your inner voice and your inner fears. Okay, so let's go back to my experience that I was talking about before. I said that, when I was at university, my fears kept me from doing a lot of things. Trust me, I didn't trust myself. I was not confident enough to talk in public. I was not confident enough to stand out or to just talk in my classroom and even, sometimes make a presentation, which is quite, you're going to laugh at me and say, what the hell? It's something really easy to do. But for me at that time, my fears kept me from saying that it was easy. It was not easy for me. It was so hard because I always thought, okay, the first ideas that I had before going to start presenting something or an oral presentation is, okay, what if they don't like the way I presented it? What if they laughed at me? And what if I do mistake and I pronounce a word in a bad way? What if, I don't know, so many ideas just come to my head that I don't even get to control myself at that moment, and then at that time, you just feel the hit coming from your feet till your head, and you don't know what to do. Yeah, I understand. It's fear, okay? It's always fear of the unknown. We don't know what's going to happen, though we create some type of scenarios in our heads. Isn't it what happens to you too? I know you can identify to this. You can identify to similar situations. Like, you can imagine so many things that happen to you. Maybe you have a date and then you just canceled it because you were not confident enough to go and face the truth. And you just called, the person you were supposed to have a date with, and you told him, you know what, I have something to do tonight. I have an emergency, and this isn't real. Yeah, you see, fears push us sometimes to lie. Fears push us to ignore the reality and just dwell or live in our inner world and not go to see the things that surround us, all the love or all the harmony, all the positive sides that surround us. I know it because I've lived it before, and I know that it's super hard for you to just overcome it, but I can say that I trust you, and I know you can do it. You can make it happen, okay? As I did it, as so many people did it, you can do it. I don't know if you have heard about Tony Robbins, but Tony Robbins always says that our fears are the thing that is keeping us from becoming the best version of ourselves. And there is also Mel Robbins who says you are one decision away from a completely different life, which means, so whenever you have something or a goal or anything, I cannot say that it should be a goal or anything, but anything that you have to do. Maybe you have to write a dissertation, an exam, and then you just start coming up with excuses and saying to yourself, no, I cannot do this. Unfortunately, no, I'm not good enough. This is a matter of a decision. You just take the decision. Okay, today I'm gonna do it. No matter what happens, no matter what comes up as a hindrance, no matter what the problem is, I will make it happen. So this is exactly what you shall do, guys, okay? Whenever you have those ideas coming up to your mind, just switch it off, as I said before. Switch off that little voice which is talking to you, okay, so that you can have a light all around you. And there is another tool that you can do, guys, is go to a friend. I know there is no one who doesn't have a friend, right? Or, well, you may not have a friend. Maybe if you are an introvert person, it's quite normal, okay? But if you are an extrovert person, you may have a lot of friends. So pick up one of your friends and just go and talk to him or her. Tell him, okay, let's suppose I have a friend in front of me and, my dear, I'm supposed to start a YouTube channel, but I don't know if people are going to like my content, if they are going to like me or like who I will be with them. And then your friend is going to say, you know what, dear, I know that if you just stay who you are and show the world all the love that you have, all the energy that you have inside you, they are absolutely going to like it. So these ideas, you just have to throw them away, okay? Forget about them and focus on the positive side of things. Listen to that heart which is telling you you can make it and people are going to like you. And you need to know something. Not everyone's going to like you because, everyone has a different center of interest. Everyone has different point of view or whatever. So you just don't have to push people to love you. Learn to accept the fact that everyone is different and this is it. Oh, yeah, you're right. Oh my God, I forgot about that, I just got carried away with all those feelings and strong emotions that got control of me. Thank you so much that you reminded me about this. You see, guys, so I just talked to someone. Well, we suppose that I was talking to someone, and that person who knows you super well is just going to inspire you. He's going to tell you, no, don't get carried away with all those bad emotions, okay? And this is it. So if ever you put your mind or you set your mind to achieve something, I know you can achieve it. I'm sure about that. And you just have to think positively. Yeah, it's all about positivity. I know I'm saying a lot this word of positive vibes, positive energies, but it's all about your energies. Remember that you attract what you think of and you attract who you are. So pay close attention to all the thoughts that come out from you, or even those thoughts that don't come out. They can affect you in a way or in another. There is a law called the law of attraction. I'm going to handle this subject in another episode, but keep in mind that you are the creator of your life and there is only you who can master the art of your life, okay? Your life is your art. You control the things that you want in that book or even write your story. You are the creator of your story. So whenever you change those bad ideas you have deep down inside you, whenever you change those fears into strengths, you're going to achieve anything you set your mind to. Just as I did it, before starting this podcast, what I had in mind is, okay, what if the world didn't like my content? What if they don't even care about what I say? And then I listened to the Mindful Kind podcast and I just realized that no one, I cannot push people to love me. I cannot push everyone to love me. And it's the truth. Not everyone is going to fall in love with my content, as I don't fall in love with everyone's content. Before I was making my research and all this stuff, and I found a podcast which was, talking about mindfulness, love, and, all these stuff, positivity. But I didn't like the way the person expressed herself or himself. So I didn't unsubscribe because I found it valuable. But it didn't speak to me a lot. I didn't identify in those stories the person was telling. So whenever you feel that there is something which is not going so right in something, don't push yourself to do it, okay? It's alright. You cannot love everything, and not everything or everyone is going to love you back, okay? So I think that I said what I had in mind, and I hope that at least you're going to learn a little bit from this knowledge that I shared with you. My only aim from this show is to provide more value to your lives and make you the real artist of your life, okay? You can make your life better, you can live a better life, and you can live happier, okay? Yeah, I cannot say happier forever because there is going to be some moments where you're going to feel down, you're going to feel upset and sad about things. And this is it, this is life, this is what makes the charm of happiness, okay? If there wasn't sadness, there could not be happiness, okay? So you need to know that life is too short to be unhappy. So just try to keep yourself smiling, even if when it feels dark, even if when everything is against you, even if when every fear inside you is against you, keep in mind that life is not that long. Life is short. We're just going to live some years and it's going to end one day. So I hope you learned some things from this podcast, and yeah, thank you so much for listening until the end. I hope I didn't take that much of your time, and maybe you're going to have a good knowledge of the things that I said, or even learn some things from me. And don't hesitate to share it with your friends if you see that some friends of yours are suffering from fears and they don't know how to deal with them. Don't hesitate to share it with them and support me by subscribing. And thank you so much for listening to the Positive Vibes show. I wish you a happy week, beautiful people that I love so much. Thank you so much.